Hey, what's up, guys? Jake here, another episode of On the Rise Music Podcast. Today, we are honored to have special guest, DJ, and producer, Kuhteeuh. How's it
Hi.
going? A huge fan of your music.
What? Sorry.
How's it going? I'm a huge fan of your music.
Oh, thank you. It's going pretty good. Just honestly, I've been spending like all of quarantine just basically doing music things and a lot of behind the scene things too. Um, yeah, but it's going pretty good. How have you been?
Well, I'm just hanging out, trying to stay busy. Just ended a internship a couple weeks ago, or like a couple days ago. So, I mean, it kept me busy, but now I'm just, waiting to go back to campus. A little nervous, but I'm excited. I'm excited. So.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, I just released a new mix last night.
Oh,
Maybe
okay.
not last night, the night before. Yeah, Karma 2.5. So it's like the third mix in the mix series because I have like a mix series named Karma.
Okay.
And basically the first two are dubstep, but like 2.5 is like more of a psychedelic bass too. So I'm like really excited about that.
Yeah, of course, as you should
Yeah.
be. Now getting right into
Yeah.
it. Um, and I understand you started like in 2017, and you even got your first showing in 2017.
Yeah.
Was that like when you really started getting into like EDM and like electronic music, or was it earlier and that was just a time where you were like, I'm gonna take advantage of this?
So I started getting into electronic music when I was like 18, right after I graduated high school. And actually, like my ex-boyfriend started taking me to raves, and then that's how I like discovered EDM. And I found Adventure Club, which is like a huge inspiration to me. And I started listening to Snails, which I still listen to them both like now. And I think I started listening to Slander also was one of like the first like harder dubstep music because I started like listening to future bass when I first got into like the rave scene, and then more like housey, and then I started getting into like the dirtier like dubstep stuff, and I went to like EDC and I started going to like all these festivals, and I actually threw a festival kind of like party in my backyard, and it was huge.
Okay.
And I asked like my friend to DJ for me because I knew all these DJs from like the San Francisco scene. I was just like
Mhm.
always out there. And they were like, "Yeah, I'll DJ your party for you." And I was like, "Cool." And then like at that party, they asked me if I wanted to learn how to DJ. And I was like, no, because they were actually like kind of also hitting on me, and I was
Oh,
like
okay.
not into it.
No, I
So
get
I
that.
was like, "Oh no, it's okay." But then I ended up hitting them up later. I'm like, "Hey, can you actually show me how to DJ?" But like I didn't want to like hit on them or anything.
Oh,
But I
definitely.
mean, now one of them is actually like my best friend, and he taught me how to DJ. And I actually ended up buying my equipment from him too, like literally 2 months into me like even knowing how to work anything. I just bought his equipment off of him and started practicing, and that's how I like learned. But that was like, I want to say like 4 years after I even got into EDM, which was
Oh,
cool.
okay.
Yeah, I had no idea I was gonna end up being a DJ. But I like also always had like, I played the music whenever we went on like road trips, like
Hmm.
our road trip playlist,
The
or
vibe
like,
curator.
yeah, I felt like I was always showing my friends like all these cool like dubstep songs and like getting them into it too. So I felt like it was meant to be.
Oh yeah, definitely. And yeah, starting off as a DJ is like the great way to get into like music production because that like with that you understand like the cadences of songs, you understand like the beat breakup, the beat mega BPMs and all that. So yeah, it's like a
Yeah.
great place for you to start. And I mean, yeah, like I get what you're saying. Like I have two sisters, and like I mean, I'm not a woman in the music industry, but I understand like it is awkward. Like you want to get into something, but you're afraid that people are like trying to give you the opportunity, but in like the wrong sense. But
Yeah.
like good for you that you were able to like, I mean, like take a step back and then revisit that at a later time.
Right.
Look at you now. I mean, damn, like you're really creating shit. You're going on shows. You've been on a roll. looks like, and there's no stopping you, honestly. So
Yay, thank you. Yeah, I'm trying to, like, after quarantine, definitely get some, like, bigger shows going because I definitely played a big one, like, right before quarantine even happened, like, the day before lockdown. Like, I played a huge show, and then, like, everything else, like, the days after were canceled. So, like, I got really lucky with that. But then, like, yeah, I definitely want to play more, like, bigger shows. So I've been working on like my production and like a lot of behind
of
the scenes
course.
stuff lately. Yeah, and like producing, it's such like a whole like another story. Like I
Oh,
can mix
definitely.
and like everything. Yeah, but like definitely producing is a lot harder, and I haven't really released like any of my own stuff yet,
Yeah,
but
that's
I do
right.
have a lot, and I kind of feel like I should release it just because like it's definitely like my style, but I feel like it's not up to like my standards yet either. But I'm definitely expecting to have like stuff released like soon because I've been working on it, like I said, a lot since quarantine, just like all this behind the scenes stuff and getting equipment together and actually like buying the tools and like
Mhm.
plugins and stuff that I wanted to experiment with, like Serum. I never had Serum before.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know if like the audience knows what that is, but it's just like a synthesizer basically.
Gotcha. And like the point that you mentioned about you not wanting to like release stuff is like, I mean, in a way it makes sense. Like you definitely want to make sure that what you're putting out is what you truly know is the best that you can do. Um
Yeah.
and again, there's no time limit that you should put on any artist in general, because if they're really working on stuff and they're actually dedicated to what they're doing, they're obviously going to take the time, and they're going to put that effort that they know that the fans will appreciate, that they know that they will appreciate as well. And but by you doing that, like, and by you still making the mixes and everything, like you're still, which is really interesting to me because you're still taking outside influences kind of and mixing it and putting your own spin on it, but also while you're doing that, like you said, you've been creating music. You have a ton of music that you haven't released yet, which is, I mean, I'm excited for. I was a little bummed when I didn't see anything on Spotify, but I was excited when I saw
Aw.
this. But yeah, when the time comes, like 100%, your stuff's gonna be right where you want it. Your stuff is gonna be like, because like you said, it is your original stuff. So people are gonna even understand like your influences and your music a lot more because they've heard everything through your mixes and now they're hearing it through your original music.
Yeah, exactly. And like, yeah, like about my mixes, they're always like I like to mix like half dubstep, half like psychedelic bass. So it's like
Okay.
really heavy, like really bassy. And I feel like that's like the kind of stuff that comes out in my production. It's just like really dark, really bassy, really like heavy. Um, yeah.
And because you said that you have both like melodic and then you have both the heavy dubstep, was there, is it, do you find it difficult for like when you come to producing music, that or is that just like what I'm trying to say is it difficult having that in the back of your head, or is it just like that's what you inherently produce and that's what you just listen to, so that's what you're inspired by?
Yeah, it's definitely something that I'm inspired by. I usually start with drums, and then I'll usually have like some sort of like melodic, like high pitched like intro that sounds really pretty, and then it just turns like really dark. So, but like that's like the drop. But I really love that, and that definitely is something that like inspired me a lot. Um, I don't know. I just like I'm really attracted to like heavy like bass, and I love the sounds of like psychedelic, like experimental. You don't really like
Hmm.
know what it is type of bass, and then like also like really pretty, and it sounds like feels like you're like on an island like watching a
Definitely.
butterfly or
Yeah.
something, and then also like just really dark, and then I have like another kind of vibe where like literally it just feels like the song is slapping you in the face, and that's the only way I can describe it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like from reading your bio and everything, and from seeing like just your rundown and everything, it's like I thought it was really cool that you're playing off of like the duality of music. You're playing off like a lighter side and then a darker side, but you're cohesively mixing them, and
Uh-huh.
and it sounds.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, like it seems like that is a lot more original. because you're mixing two separate sounds and you're putting them together in a way that people typically wouldn't probably think of doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I feel like I kind of got like a little bit of hate on that when I first started doing it
Of
because
course,
like,
yeah.
you know, I was like a new DJ and then like I'm mixing like the two together and people are just like, "Oh, like you can't like play that here or like, you know, it doesn't sound good. It's like a little
Mhm.
off key for this song to like go together and stuff." And then like I actually ended up separating like my dubstep playlist and my psychedelic playlist, and I feel like that's actually helped me within like a lot of shows
Oh,
because
okay.
like with shows like a lot of the times like if I know the audience wants like dubstep, like I will basically have like a really like dubstep set, but it
Mhm.
definitely will still be like my style where I'll play like, you know, psychedelic sounds, but it'll definitely be way more heavy. And then like I have like my just psychedelic, which is like it's not really heavy enough to go in like my dubstep playlist, but
Okay.
definitely like something that I would play at like a festival, like a bass music festival, not like a dubstep
Mhm.
festival, but like kind of more like Wookie. So that's
Okay.
really helped me. But like with like my own personal mixes, I really like to just like, yeah, I still like to mix the two together. And I feel like people are actually starting to like it now that they can see I'm like a little bit more experienced than I was before when they were telling me not to. And now I feel like, yeah, people are actually liking it. So I like it. I mean, not that it would take other people liking it for me to like it, but
Yeah, that's like really interesting that you're able to like you, that you split them up and that you recognize that they're both two different sounds. Like I mean, it is as simple as it sounds. Like yes, they're both two different sounds, but like once you
yeah.
become so just like interested in and like compelled to listen to like two separate things, it almost, and if you're just constantly listening to them like at the same or not the same exact time, but on like a same playlist or whatever it may be, and you're
Yeah.
discovering at the same time, you kind of the line of like what it is, even though it probably is two like even though the sounds probably like two separate different sounds, they begin to get blurred. So you stop seeing them as the
Yeah.
respective genres. So yeah, like you're in a way, but by doing that, you kind of you yeah, like you said, you helped yourself out a little bit. You gave yourself like the ability to like cater to one group and then cater to another group, but also when you're doing your own thing to put it all together. And
Hmm.
yeah, like that's like why would you not want to? But I just think that's really funny that people were like, yeah, you can't do this. Like, why are you so
Yeah.
like, you just give it a chance. Like the
Yeah,
artist.
like they weren't into it. But yeah, now it seems like they are.
Yeah, I mean, like I from what I've listened, like your mixes are great. Like I don't understand why. I mean, yeah, that would make. It's just kind of like, oh man, like screw them though. But I mean, I'm glad you're out of that situation. Like you're doing your thing now. You got
Thanks.
yourself solidified. Um,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
yeah,
I
you're
mean,
just making stuff for you. Because like you said, like screw what other people think. It's not gonna change what I like.
yeah, exactly. And I even had like my one friend, he's a manager, and he was just like when you first started doing this, I really didn't think it would work, but now I actually like really like it. And then I was like, yay. So now he listens to my music like all the time, like my mixes and stuff.
Okay.
And that's awesome. And like, okay, so at first it did actually take me a little bit to like learn the different genres because
Of
I didn't
course.
actually like know them when I started DJing, and there's like a lot of
Yeah.
them.
Oh yeah.
When I first started listening to EDM, I literally thought everything was trap. So like just like kind of
Okay.
like EDM trap. And then I like learned the difference and I kind of thought, you know, like everything was dubstep, and then I was like, oh wait, no, this is like psychedelic bass and this is trap and this is dubstep and this is rhythm, and that's like I don't know what that is, but yeah.
No, that makes sense. I mean, and like, and that comes with, like you said, with experience, like just listening to
Yeah.
music. But in the beginning, that's like funny though that you were mixing the two together and you didn't really understand like there was differences.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, it's like I'm sure it sounded great. Like your first couple of mixes sounded amazing. And like the fact that you understood what music you were listening to without the technical names, um, that just means that you kind of had an original, like a organic, like I guess you could say like knack for it. Like you had an organic just intuition
Yeah.
for the music, and it was just coming organically.
Yeah, I mean, I really like it. It's like literally probably all I listen to since I started listening to it. So I feel like that's why I got really good at it. It's literally like I listen to different genres of EDM and like that's it. That's like my genre. And like yeah, I like rarely listen to anything else. Like the furthest I go from that is still EDM, like Alice in Wonderland Radio on
Mhm.
Pandora. It's like my chill station, but it's like it's still Alice in Wonderland Radio. There's
Yeah.
a lot of EDM on it. It's just like a lot chiller.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
great to have have like a plethora of different types of genres because again, it like it's almost like you're a student to the music because you're studying these different genres. Even if it's just listening, you're still like
Hmm.
actively paying attention to like the bass shots, paying attention to like the mixes, whatever it may be. And I'm sure it's like improving and it's like helping like push your production and like your mixing just a little bit further every time you pay a little bit more attention to like a song.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Actually, I don't know why I just thought about this, but like when you said like the pretty and then like the heavy, well the melodic, I
Mhm.
can't talk today, but
Oh, you're
melodic.
good.
I actually got that from Excision. So
Oh,
I
okay.
love Excision. I've probably loved him forever, and I know that probably sounds like really basic, but he's
No,
actually
no, no,
really
no. It's all good.
good. No, it doesn't sound basic. I feel like I get told I'm basic a lot for like listening to Excision, but I love him. And I like the fact that he also uses like really high pitched like girly singing voices right before like a super heavy drop, and like Adventure Club does that too, and that's something like I think I just told you this, but it's something that definitely like really inspires like everything that I do.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's like the top thing that I go for is just like pretty and heavy. It's like two like opposites. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
I
mean,
feel like it really fits me too because like people when I come on stage, like it's like I'm just like little and like I'm a blonde girl and I feel like people don't really expect it to go so heavy.
no, yeah,
Yeah.
no, I get what you're saying. Yeah, and you just throw them off guard. I mean, like
Yeah.
being a woman in the EDM production and like and just in electronic music production, do you feel that do you always feel that you have like something to prove to people based on like just because of your gender, or is it, or are you just kind of like just doing your own thing and you don't really think about stuff like that?
I don't really think about it. I feel like I mean, sometimes I think about it, but it's only like after like I play a show or something and I'm just like thinking about it after, like they probably weren't expecting that when I got up on stage, but like it makes me kind of happy because I really like that kind of like element of like surprise,
Mhm.
um, or just like what's it called, like a sucker punch almost.
Yeah, yeah, I was reading that quite a bit in your bio. No, but
Yeah.
that's great. Like you definitely like personally, I think the underdog in any situation is like my number one choice. And you, I mean, you may like it may be like the first time someone's told you, but like that's kind of an underdog story. Like you people see you and they're just like, oh, she's just like a small blonde girl. Like what is she really gonna do? And you come out and you're just throwing stuff. You're sucker punching people like figuratively with your music, throwing people off like, hey, I can do whatever I want to do because I love this music. Like my gender doesn't define me as a person. Like my music defines me as a producer. So like, yeah,
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. And that's great that you definitely don't like that you don't let that hinder you or bother you. But like looking back at it, like after your shows, like you said, like yeah, it is a great feeling. You're like, yo, I definitely threw these people like off and like they had a
Uh-huh.
great time, whatever like their positive experience was. Like yeah, that's crazy. Like good for you, man. Like I really appreciate, like that's crazy. Like you're doing your thing.
Thanks. Yeah, I definitely get told that a lot. Like, I really like it when people come up to me and they're just like, yeah, you like took me off guard. Or like, I think probably the best feeling is when I'm like, when I go on stage and then I start throwing down like, some super heavy bass. And then like, I see a bunch of people like start running over to the stage because like everyone wants to start dancing. And then I just like keep them there. Well, I try to keep them there like all night. But like, I feel like it's really also important to kind of like make the mix or like just the whole set kind of going kind of like a wave form. So like goes like mellow and then like really heavy and then like mellow, and it just like gives people like a break, but then like also like builds them up. And I've been told I'm really good at reading the audience.
Oh,
So
okay.
like if I don't see them like vibing, like I'll start changing it up until like I actually see people like dancing and headbanging. And then like whatever works, like I'm just gonna keep doing that.
Oh,
And
definitely.
yeah, when they like start dancing, it like gives me energy, and then I start dancing, and then I feel like it gives them energy, and then they start dancing, and we just keep like going
Yeah,
back and
it's a reciprocation.
forth.
It's
So
a
it's like really cool like
community.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually like a great like you being able to read the room. That's like I mean, in general, that's a great skill to have, but especially as a DJ, like you said, like you'll look at the crowd and you'll just be like, okay, you guys aren't fucking with this. Let me throw on this. Let me throw on this. Oh, look at this. You guys are dancing. Like now I'm gonna start dancing. Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, that's what music is. It's just energy, and for them to like pick up on that, and for you to be able to read that and like begin to change it. That's amazing. Like and I mean, it makes sense why you have the illustrious like list of performances you've had because you're able to like influence and not so much control, but like understand the audience and like influence their energy in a positive way.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like to dance with them. Like I don't know.
Well,
I
as you
just
should.
yeah, they definitely get me to start dancing. Like it's really weird. Like I can totally like tell the difference like in the energy levels in the room when there's like a little bit of people there and then there's like a lot of people there like dancing, because I feel like I said, it goes back and forth. So like
Hmm.
I get energy like off of them, and that's kind of like the hard thing right now about playing like a bunch of live stream shows, because there's no
Definitely.
one there. So I feel like there's like not as much energy, and I'm like not as energetic and like dancing around and stuff, because I'd usually be like hopping all over the stage for like an hour. And like now I try to do that, and then like yeah, I just need some more like motivation. It's easier when I have my friends there because then like they're dancing, and then it just makes it easier.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, and like
Shot.
yeah, I've talked to like a couple artists on here that said the same exact thing. Like they really miss having those live performances. But
Yeah.
the fact that you're able to capitalize off of the whole like live stream and everything, I mean that's huge. That is separating you from the people that kind of just do it for clout. Like you're doing it because you're really passionate about it, and you're really trying to hone your craft. Like you said, you're trying to improve your production. You're trying to like get better at just uh, excuse me at just production and just DJing. So that's like it's really going to separate you from those who kind of just do it because they want to get money, and those people who just do it because they just want to get attention. Like no, you're doing it and you're really honing in your craft and because you really want to do it because you're passionate about it, which is like the only reason why you should be doing it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's definitely like a hobby, but I definitely want to like, live off of it. So
Oh,
that would just
definitely.
be awesome. Yeah, when this like coronavirus hit and like all of like the live stream shows started like taking off, I kind of like took advantage of that in a way, and I started hitting people up that like were not close to me, like people in like Florida or like New York or like way out of state, because I live in like the Bay Area in
Hmm.
California. And like I'd be like, hey, so like if you guys are doing any live stream shows, because I would only look for people that I knew were like doing one, you know um I'd be happy to play one because I can play it from my house and I don't have to travel there. So I thought it was a perfect opportunity for me to connect with like other people that are like too far out of state that like I wouldn't be able to play for before yet.
Hmm.
Mostly if they were like a small venue or something, because obviously I have to get paid for travel out
Yeah.
there, and I feel like I'm not big enough for that yet. So it was like a good opportunity for me to like get to know people without having to travel out there, because live streaming. So for a while I was only really taking shows that were out of state or like way like far from me, and just
Okay.
like yeah.
Yeah,
So that's
and
how we're connecting.
Yeah, exactly. You got to take advantage. Yeah, you're not going to have the opportunity to go and play a show, but I mean, if you can reach out to somebody like on Instagram or like on Twitter
Hmm.
or just email and be like, hey, if you need people to do a like a show for you, or to like you need people for the show that you're putting on, I can easily do it via live stream. And from that, like, yeah, you take advantage of those opportunities. You make connections. Um, you knock out a set, all of a sudden people are like, the people that you reached out to are now reaching out to you like, hey, we're gonna, like, after all this, we're planning a big show, we want you to come out, we'll fly you out, whatever it may be. And then from there, like,
Yeah.
hey, you get more fans, like whatever it may be. But yeah, it's definitely like the people that are taking advantage of this downtime are the people that will take off when everything like goes back to the new normal.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you have to really understand that even though we are in a shitty situation, like, I am in no way saying that we're not in a shitty situation, because we are. Like, you can't do anything. You can't have we probably won't even have concerts for, being completely honest, another year and a half, like, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But like, if
Yeah.
you're taking advantage, like you're reaching out to people, you're saying like, hey, I can do a live stream, you're going to be set when all is said and done, when everything goes back to normal, when we're having shows again, and people are like coming to you and they're like, hey, we're having a show, like, I don't know, in Miami, like, you want to come down, like, we'll fly you out, whatever it may be, because why, you reached out to them during quarantine. So yeah, it's like a
Uh-huh.
taking advantage of
Exactly. And I already actually had that happen to me almost with like every single one that I played so far. So that's really exciting too, because they were just like, yeah, exactly like you said, like, hey, you should, like, we have to get you out on one of our actual shows when this is all
Mhm.
over. And I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. And like, honestly, I've had also like a few people reach out to me during quarantine and like want me to play on their live stream,
There you
and
go.
they'd also be from like wherever, in state, out of state. And I'm like down to play any live stream right now, because like I feel like I'm just DJing for fun anyway. I might as
Yeah.
well DJ for fun in front of someone else's audience,
Mhm.
and no one's getting paid for it. I feel like a lot of people are thinking that we're getting paid for this, but like none of the DJs are actually getting paid for live streaming, because there's no like ticket sales for the events. There's no
Yeah.
like way that the event companies are making money. Like, we're just all doing this for fun. So it's like kind of a fun way to just start reaching out and connecting with like everyone else that is like doing it for free also.
Mhm.
And then it's also really exciting because I had, this is kind of off topic too, but I just
No,
thought
go
about it.
ahead.
I like had, well, I was like, I've been producing recently, well, for like more than a year now, but like, so I've had even the people that I look up to, like
There you
Snails
go.
and like Rico Act and like Adventure Club, like
Mhm.
I have them like in my DMs now. Like,
There you
they
go.
actually like respond to me like when I ask them stuff, or
Mhm.
like they'll reply to like one of my stories, and they'll like actually watch my stories. So I thought that was
There
really
you
cool. And
go.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, and like I kind of like definitely fangirled a lot when that started happening. So I was just like, I like really look up to you guys, and you're like, I actually can talk to you now as like a person, and like, because I need help with something, or like on a track, and they actually like give me advice, which is awesome, because it's like, if I want to make music, like the people that inspired me, like obviously I want to go to the people that inspired me to
Mhm.
learn how to do it. So that's definitely something I'm trying to learn how to do.
Yeah, of course. And again, if you hadn't taken that opportunity to reach out to those people that are having those live streams, you wouldn't have had the opportunity to get that exposure. Like, you're
Exactly.
one of the people that is taking advantage. I talked to a couple, or two, our interview, our second or interview, not our last interview, but the one before, talking to crowd control. They said the same exact thing. Like, yeah, it sucks, we can't do anything. We're taking advantage of the downtime. We're getting better at streaming. We're getting better at live
Hmm.
shows, and production and everything. So when the time comes and all said and done, hit the ground running. Like, there's no one stopping you, and you're taking advantage of that. And that's like that's the least that you can honestly do, and it'll take you far. Like, being completely honest. I mean, you're seeing,
Yeah.
so
And learning a lot. I'm definitely learning a
definitely.
lot. Yeah, I definitely, like he said, got way better at streaming over quarantine. Honestly, I didn't even know how to stream before quarantine. I didn't have Twitch. I the most I ever did was stream on like Instagram Live, and
Mhm.
it was at my friend's house. And then so I ended up calling him up and like asking him how to get direct audio from like my equipment to like my
Mhm.
phone. And it took me like literally months to get this like tiny little cord that I needed just to like get direct audio because I kept getting the wrong one. So it inspired me to also like make a tutorial on it for other people because there were
There you
actually
go.
no tutorials on this at all. It was just something I so happened to learn from a friend. So yeah, it took me forever to actually like get like live streaming right, and then the visuals are just like another story. I actually don't really use
Definitely.
visuals unless I'm at my friend's studio. I just live stream from my phone because it's easier, and like my computer sucks, so I would not trust that camera or the sound. The audio quality is horrible on my computer. So there was only like one live stream I had to do where like I got the wrong chord and I just so happened to
Oh
be in
man.
Tahoe at the time. And so I had to just like be really quiet so that no one could hear like any outside noises. And I was just like really careful on my mixing, and I kept the phone like right next to like the speaker. So it all worked out. They said I did great, so I don't think they noticed. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you definitely gotta like roll with the flow, or go with the flow, and you being able to, yeah, taking advantage of the opportunity. Like no one had a tutorial on how to connect like your
Hmm.
phone to like your or the output to like your laptop. And like, yeah, that, I'm sure that that gained you some, like a couple followers too, because they were like, oh look, there's a tutorial. Oh wait, she makes music. Oh, or she produces mixes music. Like, let's take a look at this. So yeah, like you're literally you're putting your toe in every single one of these, like or dipping your toe in every single one of these like opportunities. And it's like, it's great. Like you're putting your name out there even more than you actually initially realized that you wanted to do.
Yeah. And like what I got a lot of is like, oh, thanks. I was trying to figure this out for so long. And I was like, me too. Like, yeah, that's why I made this.
Yeah, and then again, like then you get like fans, and they're like, oh shit, she mixes music, she puts on like shows and stuff, and start listening,
Yeah.
and you just start growing from there step by step. And yeah, I mean, like you're taking advantage of every opportunity, and that's all that you could honestly do during this time. And so shout out to you.
Yeah.
Good shit to
I'm
you.
trying my best.
No, I mean, like we all are, and I mean, you're doing great. Like there's no one stopping you at this point. Like definitely, I mean, you probably know this, but like just keep doing your thing. Like seriously,
Thanks.
yeah, us at On the Rise, we're pretty excited to see what you got in the future. I mean, looking at your list of just shows, it seems like you have a fairly decent presence on the stage.
Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah, of
I
course.
literally love being on stage so much. It's probably like the funnest thing ever. Um, yeah, like I usually just get up on stage and I'll literally start just flipping my hair around and like just headbang and jump around the entire time. And a lot of the comments that I get is like people don't know like how I have so much energy for like a straight hour. And like I just drink a lot of Red Bull.
There you go. I mean, there's no
Yeah.
other answer to that.
Yeah.
Um, but like, because you said like the shows are like just your favorite thing, is there
Mhm.
like any couple of shows or just one single show that is like the most memorable to you, or memorable to you, or that just was like your favorite?
Um, I like my favorite shows, like I don't really have a specific favorite show that I've played because they're all so different. But
Hmm.
I think that my favorite type of show are always like the dubstep ones because there's so
Okay.
much like energy. Like I love playing like psychedelic bass too, but it's like way more chill and like wonky, and people are more just like wiggling. As with like my
Okay.
dubstep shows, people are like, you know, banging the rails against the ground, and
Yeah.
like it's like way more exciting, and I feel like I have like a lot more satisfaction off of that, and like it makes me go harder to see that other people are going harder. And yeah, like honestly, I think I really like the Sacramento scene and like the San Francisco
Okay.
ones so far the best for like dubstep because I've played like DNA and like bass therapy, and
Oh,
I think
okay.
those are like the two like biggest clubs that like play like dubstep in those cities. But I really love those ones. I like all the people there. It's always I feel like it's usually like halfway like all the same people, so you start getting to know like a lot of people. And yeah, like you said, they start becoming like, fans, and then they come up to you after and they're like, "Oh my god, I love you. You're like a little girl that does like dubstep." And then I'm like, "Yeah, thank you." I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Like no one can take that away from you. You having those friends and
Yeah.
having those experiences, when all's said and done, when like the music, like when you're ready to like call it quits or whatever, when you've made your money, you've done your you put your time in, those are the things that stay with you. Like those are the memories that live with you. People coming up to you and being like, "Yo, like you're crazy. You threw me off. Like I didn't know that you were gonna just throw like this wild ass music, but like because you did, like this shit was crazy. Like I'm a huge fan now." And it's like, yeah, like those people can't take that away from you. And honestly, like they shouldn't. They really shouldn't. Like you earned that. You busted your ass. You were doing your thing. You were figuring out the music and everything. And then all of a sudden, now here you are. So yeah, I totally understand. Like that's just something that you can't like recreate.
Thanks. Yeah, exactly. I really love it. And yeah, I get really into it too. I'll start like twerking and like dance. Even like when I'm in my car and I'm listening to like mixes that I've made or like songs that I like. And if I start like twerking to it or like headbanging to it, I'm probably gonna throw it into some type of mix. And I'm just like, that one, I'm downloading that one. And I feel like that's just how I go through and choose all my songs. So they all make me dance. So I know I'm gonna like, dance to them. And usually other people do too.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of interesting that you pick stuff that you enjoy, not what other people enjoy, because
Mhm.
I've put people on to music. I mean, granted, I'm not a producer or a DJ or anything, but I've put like my friends on to artists because I've just been so like positive and I've been such a big fan of them that it's like it changes the experience for them. And I'm sure
Yeah.
that your passion and that your interests in whatever music you play definitely shows when in your performance. You're a lot more active, you're a lot more passionate, and it just like the fans again, because music is energy, the fans can like vibe off of that. They can pick up on that and they'll be like, wow, I never would have expected that you would have these two contradicting like music subgenres of EDM, and yet you blend them so seamlessly, which is yeah, that you should definitely like yeah, I mean, don't like that the secret. Don't stop doing what you're doing. And it'll definitely like being original and being authentic is really what will get you far in especially in the music industry.
Yeah, that's definitely something I realized too. I feel like honestly, like a lot of dubstep now, a lot of the shows will start kind of hearing like the same songs, the
Mhm.
same like type of music, the same drops. And I feel like especially with like rhythm, like I love rhythm, but like sometimes it can start like all sounding the same to me. And that's just
Yeah.
something like I never really wanted to do. Like I always try to make it like, it's still kind of going to have the same like drum pattern, but it's definitely always going to be some like wonky like sound that is just like 100 times like harder than just like a wonk.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, and you don't want to you definitely don't want to get caught up in what everyone's doing. Because then you're just tracing trends at that or chasing trends at that point,
Hmm.
excuse me, and you're never really going to be satisfied with what you're putting out. So as long as you are happy with what you're doing, as long as you're confident with what you're doing, yeah, like again, like you said earlier, like don't like yeah, you take in opinions, but in the end, it's like what you really like and what you really are passionate about is what you're gonna put out. So
Yeah, I really like stuff that sounds different. Like I don't really like it when it all sounds the same. But yeah, exactly. Like it's just I'm really passionate about it, and yeah, I really like it. And yeah, I just yeah.
no, I mean, as you should, like, especially as a producer. Like, yeah, don't like. I talked to other like again like crowd control interview. That was a really
Mhm.
insightful interview. They kept saying like, hey, yeah, we asked our fans for opinions, but we're not going to take it to heart. We're gonna take it in and we're gonna analyze it and understand like, okay, like I get what you're saying here. We'll use it, but we're not gonna change our music style. Like, if what you're asking
Yeah.
is to cater to you, then unfortunately, we're not going to listen to it because we don't want to lose our vision. We want to keep like our pure focus on our end goal and our pure focus on like the music that we like and the stuff that we like, the sounds that we like. So
Mhm.
like if you're really a big fan of me, then you're gonna love what I put out. You're gonna love the stuff that I put out. If you're not, then I mean, hey, it's okay. Like there's other artists out there that have genres that you like. So like it's not a big deal to me. So like yeah, definitely like don't I mean you know that already. But yeah, don't lose like your authenticity and definitely don't lose your edge because someone said that they don't like it.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, like I always go to other people like for help, like other DJs or like other producers, but I really only go to them for help for like more of like the technical stuff, like,
Mhm.
like how do I do this or like how do I get, Ableton to do this or like make this sound. But like when it comes to like style, I feel like everyone always has their own style. So they'll always tell me something different and it
Mhm.
doesn't actually help me out either.
Yeah.
I feel like people are always going to want to change like the song or like the mix to something more like they would do, but it's
Definitely.
more just like, like I would always ask them like did I blend this well together or something like that. Like nothing to do with like style because I feel like my style is like way different than theirs. And if I like asked anyone else, then they would probably try to change it and into something that they want to do, which is fine, like they want to do it, but like yeah, like you said, I have to like kind of keep my own style going and like stuff that I want to do and like that I like stuff that I love listening to.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. Yeah, like you wanna stay true to yourself and you wanna really embody the person that you were when you wanted to get into it. You wanna embody like that music, you wanna embody that sound and yeah, you don't wanna lose it because that was a really interesting point that you mentioned about how like if you ask people for style or whatever it may be, like sound or whatever, instead of technical questions, then yeah, they're gonna be like, oh, I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't
Mhm.
like this. It's like, yeah, of course, because you work on a different subgenre and I'm working on my own.
Yeah.
Like I'm
Or even if it's like the same, like sometimes,
exactly.
it's still like a completely like different style or completely something different than what you would want to do. But
Mhm.
like it definitely would suit them, but you could still be in like the same lineup, same show, but have like, completely different sets, which everyone does, which is
Definitely.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I again, like, yeah, just stay true to who you are. Like, just ask technical questions, learn, like don't close yourself off. Like in no way am I telling anybody out there to just like be like, I'm not gonna ask anyone for advice. No, but I'm
Yeah,
just
right.
saying like ask like questions, but don't cater to people. Just do your thing like you. Like I mean, like you said, you started out and people were like, what is this? Like you can't be doing this, blah 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 blah. But I mean, were persistent. You were like, screw it. Like I'm gonna do what I like. And now look at you. You
Yeah,
have what is it like upwards of 56 shows that you've done
yes.
already, and
Uh-huh. I
just
played a lot of shows so far, which is awesome. I feel
definitely
like I played a lot. I don't want to say like a lot more than most people, but like the people that have told me that, that's where I got that from. Um, but yeah, I just feel like really accomplished like with the amount of shows that I've played. So I'm like really happy about that. And it's only been like a few years. I've been DJing
yeah,
like
exactly.
not as long as anyone else, and I feel like I've caught up. So
Yeah, I think like
that's
3.5
awesome.
years. I think like 2017 is when you started.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
look at that. And you've already
Yeah.
done like 56 shows. Like you're definitely like you obviously have something that a lot of people and even us on the rise recognize. So yeah, don't
Thanks.
stay original, stay authentic, and don't lose that overall vision that you had from the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah, and I actually went back a few days ago and I started listening to songs that I started listening to when I first got in the scene, like, all
Mhm.
that future bass and like more chill stuff. And then I went back and started listening to like, the very first like dubstep songs that inspired me. And I feel like it kind of got me like re-inspired because I felt like I was
Okay.
like losing a little bit of inspiration from like the quarantine, like not seeing anyone. And then I like went back and like listened to like everything. And I think it was an accident. Like something just happened to come on the radio and I like started browsing and just going through like all my old stuff. And yeah, I felt like it got me like re-inspired and I was just like, oh wow, like this is like what I want to make. Like this is like the stuff I want to do. Like I want to like play a show like this. And like,
Mm.
so I feel like it put all those thoughts like back in my head. So like I definitely recommend that to anyone. Like just go back and like re-listen to like this stuff that got you inspired in the first place.
Yeah, because sometimes, yeah,
Yeah.
you get busy. You start picking up new things. Like a lot of stuff just gets
Hmm.
caught up in your head, and you just like you forget. Like you're like you said, you just had to be kind of like a reset button. Just like be like, oh crap, oh okay, now I remember. Like this is where I want to.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're
Well,
re-inspired, like you said. Like you started like seeing stuff in a different light because yeah, especially now, everyone's like stuck in their homes. Everyone's trapped in their heads. Like it's difficult. Like I am in no way saying that like it is an easy or it's been an easy 5 months, but finding what can help that reset, finding out what can keep you like a little bit more grounded, going out and listening to the old music that you listen to, is great, and it's a great way to remember like who you are and what your vision is.
yeah. Yeah, that's definitely an important part. And like it's been okay, so we've also been stuck in quarantine, but so right before quarantine, I also just graduated college.
Oh,
So I
congratulations.
thank you. I got my bachelor's degree and like it's been really good for me, I feel like, because like ever since I graduated, I just had like all this free time. I don't have really anything to
Definitely.
worry about right now.
Mhm.
So I've just been like using so much time with like music, and I feel like it's just been like a big like push start, like okay, you graduated, all right, you're quarantined for the next year and you have to work on stuff. And like
Yeah,
it was just kind of good for me. Like I know it's like a horrible thing, it's definitely not good for like everyone, but like it definitely gave me like the push start that I needed and like the time that I needed to like work on things and figure everything out. And I feel like it would have taken me like a whole nother year just to do that if I was like, working at the same time, because I also do like, promotions for
hmm,
cannabis and alcohol and as like a promo model.
yeah.
So yeah, that takes up a lot of time. But yeah, we can't do that right now. So I have like
Yeah,
all that time free too.
yeah, you gotta
And it's
find
been
you gotta
yeah,
find the bright spots in a bad situation. Definitely.
exactly. Yeah, which is like really all it's about. Like you really have to just, make the best out of all of your time and
100%.
just yeah, what's gonna like benefit you later, what's gonna help you do what you want, or even just have time to like let yourself create and just like not do anything except for like create things and like be artistic. It helps a lot. It helps you evolve basically.
Definitely. No,
Yeah.
I totally agree. Yeah, I mean, I could sit here and chop it up with you all evening. I've had a great time hearing your take on your music, and had just had a great time just talking back and forth about your sound and your authenticity. Um,
Thank you.
I know you're a busy you're a busy woman. You got music to produce. You got live streams to hop on to. But I want to ask you one more question. Uh,
Yeah.
Two-part question. Basically, first part is like, what piece of advice would you tell a younger you or like a producer that's just starting out, in terms of like the industry, their image, whatever it may be? Just one piece of advice that you would let them know. And then, if there's anybody that you're listening to right now, working with, or you just want to give a shout out to, go ahead and just shout out their names.
Okay. Well, a piece of advice I would probably give anyone is honestly just to like go for it. Like even if you don't feel like you're ready, like just do it anyway. Like something that I learned from like a YouTube video was just like when you feel like you're not ready, you just start walking towards it. Like just go. And that's just like something that I use in like everything. Like just throw yourself in it and like
Hmm.
see what happens because it could just turn out really great. And the second part of the question, I've actually still been listening to Snails. I love him.
Okay.
And I've been listening to Kai Wachi recently, lately too. And there was one more. I want to say Kai Wachi, Snails. I forgot who the other person is, but I play him like all the time. I want to say it's Adventure Club, but I know it's not Adventure Club. But Adventure Club is still one of my favorites, and I do play them all the time. So they're just like, they're also like number one. Those are like my top three. So like Kaiwachi, Adventure Club, and Snails. But right now it's like Snails because I just love his sound. Like the song that I'm obsessed with right now is like his song from like 4 years ago. And like I
Okay.
DM'd him the other day and I'm like, can you just, I will like literally pay you if you show me how you made this because I'm trying to figure it out and I just like want to know because I love it so much. Like it's 4 years old for you anyway. But
Just,
yeah, those are like the ones that I'm listening to right now. So shout out to them.
yeah, shout out to them. Couldn't have said it better myself. Go out and do it. It's a great walk towards it. Like it's a great piece of advice, especially when you're
Yeah.
doubting yourself, because you never know. Like that's like in situations I adopt that principle. Like in situations where
Hmm.
you really don't know, it's like the only reason you don't know is because you're scared of the unknown. And once you get past that and just throw yourself in a situation, who knows what's
Yeah.
like you're more prepared than you think you are. So
Yeah, and
that
you
is a
just
great piece
like
of advice.
sometimes you just won't know and you just have to like go with it and like that's fine. And yeah,
Exactly.
just start walking towards it, just start doing it and just don't hold back just because like you're afraid of like what if this or like what if that or like what if I mess up, but like you probably will mess up. I messed up a bunch of times.
I
You
mean,
just have to
part
like
of the
keep
experience.
going.
Exactly. You gotta learn from your failures, and you can't let those hold.
Yeah. Exactly. Like, you know, sometimes you do just accidentally shut off the music in the middle of a show. But like, you know, you learn to play it off. Like you pick up the mic and you're like scratching, you're like, hey, and then you're like freakishly trying to find a song or something.
That happened to
But like
you?
no one notices because you're used to it.
That happened to you then?
Yes, actually a
Oh
lot.
man, you wanna
There was like
give a quick story?
yeah, there was actually one time where I like definitely shut off the music and there wasn't even a microphone and I literally just started like screaming to the audience and I was just like, hey, blah blah blah. I don't even remember what I said. And I like found a song and I was like, okay, gonna play this and I like played it and like everyone just thought I was like, you know, naturally talking to them, like
It was
not
part of
that
the
I
show.
actually music. But it, like I said, it's something you have to learn how to do from like
100%.
experimenting and like making mistakes because like I've definitely also shut off the music. Luckily when there was no one at the show, but like shut off the music, the whole thing just went off and I was just like, oh, and then I like went back on. Yeah. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
learn from it.
100%. Again, thank you, Katia, for coming on. Had a great time
Yeah.
talking with you. Learned some great things.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. It pleasure's all ours. You know, we're just out here trying to give you guys a platform. And we definitely have we got a little visitor.
Yeah, my dog came in. This is Paco.
Hey, nice to meet you, Paco.
Like
Welcome to On the Rise. Make a little guest appearance. But yeah, thank you again for coming on. Had a great time. You have a bright future ahead of you. A lot of confidence. A
thank
lot of
you.
you got a lot of music. You got music coming out, like you said. You're working on starting to make your own to set out your own produced music. So look out for that, guys. Don't
Yeah.
forget to follow Katia on Instagram. That is
Mhm.
KUHTEEUH, or follow her music account, which is Katia Music, or her modeling account because she also
Yeah.
is a model and a promoter. That is Katia. What is the
It's just
info?
Katia models, yeah.
Katia
It's like I
Models.
have like my main account, which is Katia. It's like everything. And then my music account, only music, to music. And then my modeling account, only modeling, and it's Katia Models. And then my SoundCloud, just also Katia.
There you go. Don't forget, again, thank you for Katia for coming on and being an amazing guest. Don't
Thank you
forget,
again for having me.
of course, don't forget to follow her on all her Instagram accounts, and don't forget to peep her Spotify or SoundCloud, excuse me.
Yeah,
And look out
SoundCloud.
for the Spotify as well, because those produced tracks will be coming out. Thanks again, guys, for tuning in. Follow, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, subscribe to us on YouTube. And don't forget to turn on those notifications and hit that like button. We appreciate everything, and we look forward to seeing you guys on the next video. Peace out, you guys.